got a question for you. Why is it that American films always have to have a happy ending? It's a foggy day here in sunny California, and today I want to talk to you about Le Grand Bleu. That's the Big Blue in English, and that's a French film from 1988. I don't know if I 100% recommend the film because the romantic scenes are pretty cheesy and it's really long. It's like an hour and 45 minutes. But it does have some beautiful cinematography and the character development is really fantastic. It chronicles the story of two freedivers that come back together in their adult life. They were childhood friends. The film starts out in the 60s in Greece, where the protagonist is a young boy. He's a young French boy living in Greece, and he's got this kind of frenemy who's Italian and is kind of a big bully that the whole pack of kids just follows around everywhere. So these boys are free divers. They dive really deep into the depths. They just hold their breath. The young French boy suffers witnessing his father's tragic death under the sea. And the Italian boy actually witnesses that as well. So fast forward to the 80s, they grow up and the Italian boy becomes a professional free diver, and the French guy just does it mainly like for science, but the Italian one is bored with his competition, so he wants to find the little French boy to come out and compete with him, and he does. And I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but the one thing that really stood out for me when I did a little research on the film is how they had to give an alternative ending for the American audience. I find French films and European film in general to be a little bit more realistic. They really treasure all of the feelings in the spectrum of emotions that human beings have. I find that American films tend to be a lot more Disney-ish, where they always want to have some kind of a happy ending. And that's exactly what they did with this film. They actually produced two different endings. So in the French ending, it's kind of ambiguous. He dives deep into the sea, and you don't really know if he stays under or if he comes back. But in the American ending, it's really clear that a dolphin saves him and brings him up to the surface, which is super Disney-esque and really kind of cheesy. I think that's what gives European film its depth, is that they're a lot more emotionally honest about stories, and it's not as fictional as it is. I think American audiences really want to have that feel-good feeling when they come away from the film. I was curious about this film because I had been going on a little bit of a deep dive, pun intended, with Kimmy Warner. I just recently watched a couple of Patagonia films that star her and how she goes hunting under the sea. She holds her breath for a really long time and is a spearfisher woman, or as she calls herself, a sea huntress. And those films were just visually stunning and absolutely beautiful. And it actually got me to get under the water a little bit with a new snorkel mask that I brought. I brought my kids out to the island and had a little fun snorkeling there. And it made me really envious of people that have GoPros and underwater equipment. If you saw my last video, you know that I just stuck my phone in a plastic bag and went under. I got some pretty good footage. Anyway, what kind of foreign films do you guys like? What have you been watching? What should I see? What should I talk about? Let me know in the comments section below. Today's a really foggy day here, and I'm gonna get in the ocean as I always do, and here's the clip for that. I'm Camille Scott with Xeno Enthusiast.